All right. How you doing, baby? You feeling good?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, a little tired, but I had to wake up early this morning. But gonna hit the road in a little bit once I get done here at the facility and get to Tampa. What's the really important thing that I have to do there? I was hearing you in the lead-in.
Young and spry, bro. What do you mean tired? What are you talking about, bro? Let's go. Are
I
you going
know.
to the steakhouse?
To a steakhouse?
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
which one
Are
did
you
you say?
going to Burns Steakhouse?
Oh well, some of us were talking about going there. So we'll have to follow up the guys on the beat. I mean, we have enough days to find a time. So
You've never
uh,
been there?
um,
No,
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 yeah,
no.
it wasn't Burns. I went to there's a couple decent spots that I've been to there, which I can't remember. But if it was Burns, I would remember based on what I've heard.
That's my point. There's no
Yeah,
way you go to Burns and forget about it because it's not just great food; it's an experience. You get to the tour of the kitchen. You get a tour of the wine cellar. You
okay,
go upstairs to the greatest dessert room on Mother Earth. That they've got a fucking encyclopedia as a menu, a
yeah.
dessert room with a menu that's an encyclopedia.
Oh shit. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, it's got like 300 different things that they do with their ice cream up there. And
okay,
and and they put you in these wooden classic booths. 2 people, 4 people, 6 people, 12 people. They've got different sizes. It's amazing, dude. How have you not you've been to Tampa, you never gone to Burns Steakhouse. Young man, let me tell you something. Mark this down. Okay? If you go, have the Chateaubriand.
okay.
That's the best steak on the cow. That is
Mm,
the elite part of the fillet, and that's the softest one. Trust me. Okay,
okay.
you can use a butter knife to cut
Wow.
it. It will melt in your mouth. You're like, yes. You've got to try the Chateaubriand. That's my favorite steak cut.
Chateaubriand.
Very, very few steakhouses have that cut. They are one of the few because they breed their own cattle.
Okay.
Okay? They have their own farms. The waiters work on the farms before they
No
are your
shit.
waiters. They
No
have,
shit.
yeah,
Whoa,
yeah,
it's this level of commitment. Wow.
yeah, yeah. That's
Man, okay.
that's
I,
why
I've, heard, I've heard of the place, but I didn't know it was all this.
that's
And
why
I hear it's tough to get a reservation.
yeah, that's why I know you haven't been to Burns because
Yeah.
you don't forget Burns ever.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Appetizer, by the way, the escargot.
I recently had escargot for the first time, and I must say, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
The best escargot I've ever had,
Okay.
right there. Okay, trust me on that. Trust me that if you have the escargot and you have the Chateaubriand, you're gonna go, oh shit, dude. Oh, set me up here. I hit a home run because you're gonna have a salad and all that. They always bring that's part of your whole deal. But Chateaubriand, my brother, that is
Indeed.
creme de la creme. That is just oh my god. Every time I go to Tampa, I have to go to Burns. I have to. Like it's a must. I've been dying to take Sean to Burns when we go to Tampa. Every time we haven't nailed that trip yet where we end up going together. But I told him I owe him a trip to Burns. I got to take him.
Oh. Okay. On you, huh?
Oh yeah, well that's Sean, bro. I mean, I got to take
Yeah.
care of Sean. Sean's my guy.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Yeah. What I heard is it's tough to get a reservation. So have you had issues with that?
No, you just get. I know if I know I'm going to Tampa ahead of time,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the
Mhm.
reservation. Now, a tip: if you don't have a reservation, go early and go sit at the bar, and you can eat at the bar also.
Oh, okay.
Okay, bar's really nice, of
Oh yeah.
course.
Oh yeah.
The cool thing about eating at the steakhouse is every room is different. It's got a different type of theme. It's all classical, the architecture and everything, but it's got a different theme each room. So it's pretty cool because over the years you're like, oh, I haven't been in this room or I haven't been in that room. I've been to Burns, I don't know, probably 20 a bunch of times. It's religion for me. I have to. It's an incredible meal.
So it makes every visit unique, having these different rooms, because it's not
Yes.
like, oh, I've been there and I've experienced it. Now you go there once and you have a different room next time. Actually, oh, well, similar to what is St. Elmo's in Indianapolis, because there's so many different areas. Just the way the whole restaurant is set up is like you go up one stairway, go into another room. So it's kind of like you could eat in a different room and select off of their incredible menu, but it's like a different dining experience every time with your surroundings.
When you get there, you sit down, you say, "Hey, would can I get a tour of the kitchen?" And they'll go, "Okay, no problem." And then they'll come back and get you, and they'll give you a tour of the kitchen. When you go through the kitchen, you're gonna go, "Yeah, hey, just put the steak right on the floor. I'll eat it right here."
Oh
You know,
yeah.
serious. The fish are swimming around 600-gallon tanks.
Whoa.
So when you order it, they kill it right there on the spot.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a high level operation.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you need to go to Burns Steakhouse. If you've never been to Burns Steakhouse, you're cheating yourself of
Mm.
one of the true great steakhouses and maybe the best experience. And then they take you to their wine cellar, which is only a portion of their wine cellar. Like they have another building down the street that's an entire wine cellar. They have bottles of wine there that cost $50,000, $75,000 and shit like that. So yeah, I'm telling you, dude, you got to go. You got to go. If you're in Tampa, you must go to Burns Steakhouse. BERN' Steakhouse, not BU.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Burns.
I would have
Okay.
had that wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, most people do. That's why I spelled it out because just in case if any of the listeners are listening and they're enticed by it, so you'll look at it. If you ever go to Tampa, and you're a steak person, oh my God,
Oh yeah.
strongly encourage you to go there. That's a hell of an experience. So anyway, let's get to some actual. We're here to talk some football. It's nice to see. I was just talking about this Jalen Phillips, like with tackling dummy because. You need legs and then you need Achilles tied to legs and they've got to be able to thrust through that. And so it was really nice to see Jalen Phillips like continuing this incredible progress, bro.
Yeah, excellent to see that. We got to hear from defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver today. So hearing him chronicle, and by the way, you listen to Anthony Weaver talking. I mean, anyone you ask him about, it's just like you get so pumped up for that player. Just listening to him, and Jalen Phillips, no different. For good reason with him, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, I think Phillips now, he's gotten a week under himself since returning off PUP. So getting all those practice reps and you just know that like this is just going to be behind him, and then now it's just about ramping up, getting that practice participation up. I'm wondering if we'll see him in this joint practice against Tampa if he's ready for that. We saw him in some team reps today, and then some of it was at walkthrough speed, but just have him keep that uptick going, and then I'm looking at it like, man, like the way Anthony Weaver said, I wouldn't put any limits on him, or they'll have to operate with some limits. They'll have to wait to get to that point to figure it out. But as far as just, he's not going to limit what he believes Jalen Phillips is capable of. So now I'm excited to see what he turns into in a couple of weeks here before the opener.
Yeah, and my guess would be he won't be part of the one-on-ones tomorrow, or play against Tampa. Why do I say that? He just got back to practice,
Yeah.
so you want him practicing against your own people, not an overzealous player on the other side that you just never know or whatever. So you have the luxury of 3 more weeks of practice for Jalen Phillips. And you can ramp up the physicality in your own way, in your controlled atmosphere with your people, and everybody understands where he's at and all that kind of stuff. And so that way you get to the game. And then that's when you can start with the next level of contact, obviously. But you'll play some level of contact here, over the next couple of weeks. The only thing is it'll be behind the scenes, away from us. You know what I'm saying? By the way, I think with Weaver, when I was talking with Travis Wingfield about this morning that um, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch a guy that it, first year coaches. An example: Mike McDaniel gets here. Do you think he has everything he needs? No, of course not. We're in year 3 now. Now's when he has a tight end that he can use in the offense. He now has a third running back, so he can really have a rotation that he needs. You know, he's got the receivers now. You know, he's got more of what he needs overall to succeed than he did the first year. Weaver, obviously, he's not going to have everything needs in his first year. But one of the things that I like about what he's doing and what he's going to end up doing with a lot of these guys is he's going to use their multiplicity. And that's going to allow him to adjust to things that are going on from week to week, from play to play, from series to series. Unlike the last coach who refused to adjust, it was you had to adjust to his scheme. This is not this guy. This guy already comes in with a multiple attitude. And so if there are multiple things, aka Jalen Phillips, can do, he's going to get it out of him or whoever else it is. You know, oh, Chop, you can play inside and you can play outside. So now I'm going to use you. You're just not an outside pass rusher. I can use you inside to disrupt too at the same time. So this, to me, one of the advantages that Weaver does have. See, Mike is not flexible. He wasn't flexible the first 2 years here. Even though he was limited, he wasn't flexible. He would not use the tight ends. They weren't up to his standard. He just won't use them. You know, sometimes he doesn't even stick to the run when he's supposed to. You know what I mean? I think this guy comes in with a completely different attitude that he's going to adjust to whatever he has.
Yeah, and that's what was so frustrating with Vic last year with Jalen Ramsey and keeping him to one side. And I think Anthony Weaver is going to be so willing to use Ramsey not only different coverage schemes, but then also just using his athleticism on the blitz that we've seen flash at times. His run support on runs to the outside has flashed a lot this training camp. So, beyond just what we already know, him in coverage and what he can do there, then there's so many things. So him, Javon Holland at safety, a guy with more range than what was necessarily utilized under Vic Fangio's scheme. That opens up a lot of things for him to play that center field like he did under the previous regime and use that range to really cover a lot of ground, and then use another safety, maybe if it is on a blitz, or to come in and cover a slot. And but so many different variations of what you can do just using these different skill sets. So, yeah, same with Chop. So, with Jalen Phillips, if he wants to, as he gets further incorporated and more comfortable into doing different things. And then on the D-line, I mean, Zach Sealer can line up in different spots depending on who are the other defensive linemen around him and where they are better suited to line up. Calais Campbell is a guy who can move around a little bit on the D-line and has in his extensive career. So I think Anthony Weaver is going to really use all of this and just utilize the full slate to his advantage.
I'm with you there. Teron Armstead practiced today along with Jalen Phillips. Jalen Ramsey practiced. Jordan Poyer practiced today. So, with all of the injuries of the people out, who are you concerned about?
People out. I mean, it's Aaron Brewer at this point, still with that hand and being week to week. So now we're seeing a lot of progress with so many guys that you mentioned there. So Teron Armstead, good to see him getting back and ramping up. And we were talking about joint practices and keeping.
What if I tell you guaranteed Aaron Brewer will be playing week 1?
Oh, I'll take it. Absolutely.
Okay, so then who else are you truly concerned about with week 1?
For week 1, Isaiah Wynn for sure. He still hasn't even been off PUP.
I'm pretty damn sure he won't be there for week 1.
Yeah, right. I mean, at this point, he's a candidate now to remain on PUP to start the season, which at least puts him out the first 4 weeks. So that it's trending to go that way because you still got to see him get into practice and then have some weeks, plural, of practice there before you could even identify. Yes, whatever new version of him it is coming off the injury, uh, is he then now able to supplant Robert Jones, who's been working there at the left guard spot for all of training camp and been up and down at times, and you have questions on the interior of the offensive line. But if Aaron Brewer, indeed, as you say, is back for the start of the season, now the key with that is that he's not getting those snapping reps with Tua. So then, and especially with a hand injury, does that come back up closer to the regular season?
Wait.
Okay.
They have 2.5 weeks to practice without you being able to see it. So he will have time to get snaps in there. Actually, it's not like he's injured all the way up to the day of the start of the season. And then hey, let's activate him. And he's going to be practicing, leading up to probably sometime in the next couple days, week. He's going to start practicing and start getting some snapping and all that kind of stuff. And who knows? He might be working on it now, as it is. I don't know for sure, but it's one of those things that he'll have some rhythm before he gets there.
One thing I haven't confirmed is actually, and I'm trying to remember which hand is it for Brewer. Do you have that? Is it his snapping hand or is it his non-snapping hand? Because then that also factors into it as well.
Ooh, I didn't ask.
Yeah.
All I know,
I just thought of that right now.
all I know is I was told he'll be ready week 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Him and Odell, there's no concerns whatsoever. They'll both be ready for week 1.
Right. With Odell, it's just you wanted.
Alzugaray had almost no practice time before the game on Saturday, and he looked fantastic. And he was out for a few weeks. So they do something behind the scenes, dude.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And we just don't get to see that. And that's the beauty of training camp. That's why I like going to training camp, because at least I get to see some real football, something at least that looks some resemblance of it. Whereas, during the season, you guys just get to see a couple guys stretching and you take roll call and that's it. That you don't really get to see practice. Right. And that's where they get to do a lot of the shit. You know what I'm saying? That they don't have to hurry it up right now in front of us. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to show their cards, in other words, because if they show that Odell is running around and looking good, then teams are going to be even more, try to prepare. But if you leave it the way it is and people are talking about PUP and all that kind of stuff, and that's what they want, that's what they want. They want that doubt that's that's out there.
Sure. Now, different circumstances for Alzugaray coming right in and getting it done in a preseason game, and also later in it. So kind of getting these reps against Commanders defense that held out a lot of starters, but then also was going deeper into its depth chart by then. So I mean, there would be different Odell immediately in a regular season game, but he's also a pro that has done this for years.
But what I mean is, when they brought him back, he was physically ready to perform as well.
Yes.
That's my point. And so that's what they're doing with Odell. He's running well. I can't tell you exactly what I know, but I can tell you that he's running well.
Yeah, that'll be the PAP list, the physically able to perform.
Yeah, there's if you can keep it under wraps. And remember, here's the other thing that I was explaining to somebody today. He's not going to play a lot. He's not an inside guy. He's going to play outside for Tyreek and Waddle. And then if you want to play all three, then Tyreek or Waddle are going to be the guys that are going to go inside at that moment, and Odell will stay outside. So Odell's going to fill in for those guys. The middle of the field is being worked on by tight ends, by whatever the group of number 3 wide receivers are, and the running backs are going to start catching passes. As you can see, if you're watching, I was explaining this today, that the easy pass was not in the offense the last 2 years for Tua. Okay, when you go look at Warren Sharp's chart about how difficult and deep balls and all that, the Dolphins are always way out there all by themselves because Tua's constantly throwing downfield. Well, you didn't have the tight end to work the middle of the field. You weren't throwing enough to running backs. You weren't using enough a slot receiver. So that's what they're going to solve this year. They're solving the slot. They're going to use the tight end. They're going to use the running back, and you see it in practice every day. Tua has the easy pass now, which he did not have for the first 2 years under Mike. So this offense, Tua should have the best year he's ever had, because he should be more efficient, because they're now giving him the easier passes to have. Because now you've got a Jonnu Smith and a Julian Hill, and now you're going to have a Malik Washington and a River Craycraft and those kind of guys to go to in the middle of the field, along with the 3 running backs.
Yeah, I agree. That's going to take so much pressure off of Tua, who's put up the numbers these past 2 years. But again, like you said, it'd be in a lot of difficult, tougher throws where it's just constantly he's got to go downfield. That's why he's got the yards per attempt, always ranking high in that category, and in fact leading the league in it in 2022, and then again last year, and then you saw him go more over the top in this past season to Tyreek Hill with the frequency that he did. So where it was more so like not just downfield, but the next level of over the top entirely of the defense. When first year you saw that the 20-25 yard range with the safeties really giving Tyreek and Waddle a lot of respect, how they were just knocking it into that range. And I think that's huge for a quarterback to just know it's not every throw that it's going to be like that. You sprinkle that in, but then now you can mix it in with your easy throws and then keep yourself in a rhythm, keep yourself going that way.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You tell me the player that has surprised you the most out of camp by now that we're pretty much done.
Oh, okay. Boy, you give me free range. Narrow it down. Give me like a position group or something. Or,
no,
free range for the whole team.
Guy that has impressed you the most.
Impressed me the most.
Yeah.
Out of
new face.
New face? Okay, so it's got to be a new. Wasn't on the roster? Because I was about to say Julian Hill because Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that's always going to impress you. That's boring. Yeah. To a dime to the right sideline today. Like today was kind of a lame practice, but that one he threw to the right sideline today. Oh shit! He dropped that dime in there. That thing was beautiful. That's boring. I know that those guys are going to wow me. Give me the new face that you're impressed with for whatever reason.
New face, okay. Because right before you told me that, I was about to say might have been Julian Hill, but he's now in his second year, so you don't want him. It's got to be a new face.
But I'm with you. I'm with you.
You'll accept Julian Hill, but
I'm impressed with his growth. So I kind of like. I'm going with Storm Duck because I love how I love that he doesn't look out of place at all. And I like that a lot. The kid, he reminds me a lot of Kohu in the first year. That Kohu just had a lot of what's that called? Like he had a lot of composure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what reminds me a lot when I see Storm. It's like, oh, this guy's well put together. You know.
And it's really take your pick from these undrafted young DBs. And even then, Patrick McMorris, the safety, is another one actually who was drafted late. Young DBs they hit on those between McMorris late in the draft. It'd be easy to say like a Chop, or we haven't seen too much of Muhammad Kamara.
Hey, Cam, I was talking about this in the post-game show. Ezukama teaches you to be patient with Cam, because Ezukama, the poor kid, it's not that he can't play. It's that he's had bad luck with some injuries. And then again, he had the injury, and then he comes back and boom, he opens your eyes and go, oh shit, this guy can do stuff that other receivers can't. He really adds something to it. Maybe we need to be patient. Here goes Cam. He has the first bad play in the game. And then after that, he stands up, plays tough, tackles a couple guys, and then makes a play downfield with ball skills that Noah Igbenogany, not even in his freaking dreams, could ever do something like that. And it just shows you, if Cam figures out his body, it's not that he can't play, because at camp the last couple of years, he'll show you stuff that you'll go, okay, this kid can play. This guy can make plays.
Yeah.
Pobrecito, bro, he's just kind of like, he's breaking down and he's not, his body's not holding up at the moment. He's having some bad luck. But if he can figure it out, like an Ezukama can figure it out, what they bring to the table, you're like, okay. And that's why the Storm Duck thing is so huge. Because if Cam's going to be slowed down by a little injury or so, at least now you've got Storm to help you out with depth purposes.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, all those young corners have been standing out. Like Maytree will make some plays, the undrafted guy out of Wisconsin. Isaiah Johnson, different body type, a little bit of a bigger cornerback. So you have some different guys, and you hope to have as many of those. Like maybe Storm makes the roster, but the other guys, if they can make it out, if you can keep them onto the practice squad, sneak them onto there, that would be exceptional to be able to keep those guys around. And McMorris, we mentioned he had one of the game balls from the last game, leading the team in tackles, and it seems like he's always around the ball. So good to see that. And on the Cam Smith point, yeah, it was good to see him in the preseason game because he's going against Terry McLaurin. So one of the better starting receivers in the league, and he kind of had his way with him. Terry did on Cam early on, missed the tackle, so gave up a couple catches, then gave up a third down play, missed the tackle, let him go for 20 instead of 5 or whatever that it would have been. But just the resiliency to put that play behind you and then make some plays later in the game. Obviously, they weren't against the caliber of a Terry McLaurin, but he bounced back.
Yeah, he made a couple of tough open field tackles after, bro.
Mm-hmm. He knew what he needed to correct, and he did it. He redeemed himself. So, and unfortunately, then you see on a special teams play, he tweaks that hamstring, or might have been a situation where, because he hadn't had that practice ramp up so much from coming off of whatever the first thing was, which Mike McDaniel said it was a different spot. So I don't think it was an aggravation necessarily of the same thing, but I guess maybe he got cold a little bit, went back into the game for a special teams play, and had to sprint again. Maybe that's what occurred. So I'm not a doctor, of course, but yeah, just unfortunate to see him tweak something like that, and now maybe have to miss a little bit more time at a critical juncture.
I'm with you there, man. All right, wide receiver wise, we talked a little bit about it, and for me, if everybody's healthy, I've been telling folks, if everybody's healthy, Braxton Berrios is the odd man out, because I think they'll keep Ezukama. I think they have held on to him. They've had patience, and when he came back, immediately they featured him, which tells me, here you go, kid. Let's find out what you got. And I just kind of feel like he'll be the 6th wide receiver. Now that Craycraft is injured, it's gonna earn Berrios. It's gonna buy him some time. But if everybody is healthy, okay, 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, everybody's healthy, who are your top 6 receivers?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. If we're talking just strictly receivers, then yeah, I mean, you look at the 6, obviously you have your top 3. You're assuming OBJ comes off the PUP, so Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, OBJ, Malik Washington has to make this team, and River Craycraft has obviously proven clearly he's there if healthy, but now he's answered that question now where he's hurt to start the season and we'll be missing some time. So that puts us at 5, and now we're basically at Ezukama or Berrios at that point. And then I think, yeah, so strictly receivers to lack redundancy, then yeah, you would go Ezukama in that case, especially because of different things you could do with him, like getting him involved in the run game that Mike McDaniel was doing last year. He's a taller receiver, and we saw him flash more this last preseason game, especially like you said, so quickly after coming back.
I said this in the postgame show. You fucked up. You can't put him on the practice squad anymore.
Oh yeah, no.
You fucked up. If you wanted to hide Ezukama, you don't play him and showcase him the way you did. The way you showcased him, that means you want him, is my point. If you showcase him like that, it's because you intend to keep him. If you think you're going to sneak him onto the practice squad, hell no. That's not going to happen. Because all he had to, and if he showcased again on Friday night, forget it, bro. It's over. As
Yeah.
Ukama did what he had to do. He put on film, he's fine, and either you keep me or somebody else is going to sign me. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's the thing, and why. If you're just talking receivers, then yeah, Azukama gets it over Barrios. But I will say, I think special teams coordinator Danny Crossman really likes Braxton Barrios back there in the return game. So I feel like that would have given him the nudge to make the roster because of his role there. I think, especially with the new kickoff rules, they want someone that's going to handle it well. They don't want someone fucking up back there, leading to different shit happening with the new rules. So I think they feel very secure with him back there, confident that he'll make the right decision, make the play, securing catching the ball, and then obviously returning it afterwards. So that's where I would have given him the notch above anyway. When you also include that factor, which is what the reality of the situation is. That's one of the factors in this decision. But now, of course, with River injured to start the year, then I would expect he's one of those guys that are on the early IR, and then that they can bring back now with the new rule without using a 53-man roster spot. As credit to Cameron Wolf, NFL Network, we were talking to him about this rule change and how you could do that with River Craycraft now. So that seems to be where it would go, and now obviously it's kind of more settled. The decision is easier once you have that available to you with Craycraft.
All right, what are you working on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I was just writing about Jordan Poyer's return yesterday, so got a feature on him coming back, and I'm writing about Calais Campbell today. He's a guy who's obviously he's done so much in his career, and now it's about getting that Super Bowl. That's why he came to Miami. So looking into his perspective heading into this season, and then it'll be joint practices in Tampa tomorrow, where probably I'll be doing some stuff on the backup quarterback battle going into that preseason finale and that joint practice course.
Mike White's got this wrapped up. You don't think so? You don't think so? Do you really think that third preseason game is really going to decide? Look, this is the way I explained it on the postgame show. Okay, Skylar has the better talent. We all know that. Okay, he's got the better arm. He's probably the better athlete, all that good stuff. But Skylar has an erratic arm where he doesn't really know exactly where he's going all the time. So you're going to be playing potluck with him on every drive pretty much. Whereas Mike White is a guy that he can get on a roll. Now, he could get on a negative roll and turn it over, but he has the ability to string together an entire drive or two where it's clean. He can't do it every quarter and every week, and he can't be a full-time starter. That's not who he is. But he has longer stretches of consistency than Skylar does. He has longer stretches of better decision-making than Skylar does. It's not so much that he's this much better of a talent or anything. It's just that just on the mind side, he will make better decisions on a consistent basis more often. So if you're a coach, you're just going to trust the guy that is going to screw up less. And I think that Mike White will screw up less than Skylar. Not so much less as in turnovers, less as in incompletes and bad plays and bad decisions. He'll make less of those than Skylar Thompson. And just because of that quality, it will not be decided in a third preseason game. Mike White's your number two.
Yeah, I trust him more in a game setting for sure. He's just done it with greater frequency, and is more of an NFL veteran at this point than Skylar Thompson, which is why I think that's why Skylar Thompson is that first one up, is because the coaches want to see if he can handle those situations. And Mike White has really been thrown in with a lot of the end of the roster guys, and really just keeping some undrafted rookies calm, I think, in the huddle in their first NFL games. Instead of really just getting to go out there and ball and do what he can.
Even Tua, your center, your right guard is playing center.
Yeah.
Your center is out. Your left guard is out. Your left tackle is out. 4 of your 5 positions are either out or out of place. So that's the other thing. The success they had this past week is good, considering also that most people weren't even playing in their spots that they're supposed to. Most of the players you're expecting to start are not there anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's why they failed in the short yardage situations. You understand that's where the chemistry and the best part of your line. That's how you're going to survive those kinds if you're going to make it. But you saw in those couple short yardage plays, they got stuffed.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple times. Got one of them in between the 4th and 1 after not getting it on the 3rd and 1, and then they throw on the next 4th and 1, which is telling also.
And habitual also. Anyway,
it worked.
It worked. It worked. The easy pass is back. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Make sure you subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, safe travels, my brother. What kind of steak?
The shoot. Say it again.
Think of a home, but it's called a chateau.
Chateau. I was gonna say Showtime. Yeah. All right. Chateau.
Home, a chateau. Chateaubriand.
Chateaubriand. Chateaubriand. I'm gonna Chateaubriand.
Instead of Brian, it's pronounced Briand. Okay,
Yeah.
so Chateaubriand. Okay, so there you go.
Chateaubriand.
House Brian, Chateaubriand. There you go.
Okay. Chateaubriand. Got it. I have a cousin named Brian that lives in Tampa, so that's how I'll remember.
Okay. Now, don't take him out for. Is he a really good cousin? Because that's an expensive steak.
He's got to cover his own plate.
Yeah. There you go. All right, brother. Be safe. We'll catch up later on in the week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. There you go. David Furones. Welt Rheaume. You got to call, man. Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy. Unfortunately, a lot of Americans are dealing with bankruptcy. Nothing to be ashamed about. Times are tough. Welt Rheaume is helping a lot of folks, helping a couple of our listeners. Some of our listeners have called for condo damage, personal injury, car accidents, truck accidents. It's happened. Business owner claims. We've had all kinds of our listeners call Welt Rheaume, and they are all happy. 954-966-4646.